Yo guys, I'm HP, this is Dr. Pink, and today's topic, long title, blues guitar, easy chord and solo combinations. A topic which was requested a lot by you guys out there. How do I do solo and chords in combination in blues? I'm going to show you the basics here to get first steps into this world, which is not so hard as you might think. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button, and also join the HPCrazy Guitar Academy with a free member account or a premium member account. So how will this sound? It will be quite easy to play. Looks quite easy. In fact, I made a version here which is really easy to grab, really easy to play in the fretboard, but the real task is, as always, to be full in music and to understand where inside the whole form you are, and therefore we reduce the difficulty level on the fretboard and the playing level, that you really can focus on the most important thing, where in fact you are in the tune, because that's what it's all about. So let's get started. We are playing a standard blues form in the key of G. So, meaning we have 4 bars of G7, 2 bars of C7, 2 bars of G7, 1 bar D7, 1 bar C7, 1 bar G7, 1 bar D7. Now, how do we play the chord here? There are many ways to play the chords, but the most easy way to do that is when you play so-called guide tones. Because it's not only a G, it's a G7. So we're going to play G7, which is in fact this one here. 3rd fret, 4th fret here on the D and G string. When it sounds quite weird, but when you add the bass note, which we don't have to do because the bass player is doing the bass note, you can hear this is the G7 chord. So we only play the guide tones. This is the 7th, and there's guide tones, you play the triad and the B7 of a chord. So this is the B7, here's the triad. Now here comes a trick. When you play C7, and that makes it so easy, just slide down 1 fret. And now it has changed. This one here is the triad, and this is the 7. Okay, so you have here G7, C7. And when you want to go to D7, slide the whole thing up 1 fret, D7. So first thing you can do is now you play the form and just playing these chords to get used to them. They're really simple to grab, and this gives you the opportunity to really concentrate on the form where in fact you are, because you don't need to think about the fingering and stuff like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. C7, 2 bars. 1, 2, 3 for G7, 2 bars. 1 bar D7, 1 bar C7, 1 bar G7, and 1 bar D7. So it's really simple to grab, and so this way you really can go through the whole form. Now we make a little task. Since the chords are so easy, you just play 1 chord, 1 bar the chord, then you make 1 bar a pause. So this is called play rest, this principle. You play 1 bar, rest 1 bar, and still keep the form going on. Let's do that now with these really simple chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, G7. 1 bar pause, again G7, 1 bar pause, Now C7, 1 bar pause, back to G7, 1 bar pause, 1, 2, now D7, 1 bar pause, so the C7 is a plate, G7 plate, G7, 1 bar pause, okay? So, you need to keep the form always going on in your mind and still playing the proper chord and making 1 bar pause. That's the first exercise. Really easy, but if it's new for you, it's probably a task. Now we turn it around. We make the first bar a pause and the second bar we play the chord, but in this case we play a different pattern. Instead of just laying down the chord, we play 1 and we slide half step down. So 1, 2 and 3, 4. So that will be this little lick. 1, 1, 2 and 3, 4. That will be for G7. For C7 it will be like this. And for D7. So this is a little bit more difficult because you still need to have the orientation, which chord, because the chord is always the same. To grab, you need to know where you are and when you do the slide. Now we do the same thing. First bar, pause. Second bar, the little chord riff. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now goes to C. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to G. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now to D. We don't play, but now the C. 1 bar pause. G7 and now the D7 as last. It's all cool. So you have two different types where you do the play rest. Either you play the first bar or rest the first bar and then just fill in the pattern of your desire. I mean, you can also switch it or mix up the patterns. That's not really the deal about it. We're doing here, but we keep it as simple as possible because the main task you need to fulfill here is that you always know where inside this blues form you are. Now we're playing the chords and we're adding something inside this play rest thing. So the 1 bar which is not played, we're gonna add something. We are on the blues in G, so it's obviously the G minor pentatonics here. So we're using this pattern or this scale pattern, and we're starting here on the G, and you can do some simple motifs like something like that. I'm gonna show you. We're gonna do the first now, laying the chord on the first bar, and then the second bar we do a little solo. And what we can do is, to make it not too hard, we always place the same thing. When a chord changes, we do something else, okay? But always, when we have G7, you play the same thing. On the C7, always the same, you know what I mean. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. C7. Same again. C7. As you can already hear, even I played something really simple. I just played two little melodic motifs, which are really basic ones. It already starts to sound how it should, because that's how the system works. Okay, and if you want to search for kind of motifs, the easiest way to do that is you start on the root note and end on the root note. Something like, as I said, we have the G minor pentatonics. here we have a root, here we have a root, and here we have a root. So you start it. Start on the root, end on the root, or start on the root, start on the root, end on the root. That works. Okay, now we do the opposite. We first bar we play something, then comes the other riff. Just to turn the play rest thing, but still you need to be able to follow the form. Now we can do whatever you want, or you do the same motif again. Let's do the same motif again to keep it as simple as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you can see, it works and it's really simple to play, but still you have a lot of things you need to think about while you play, and that's why we keep it as simple as possible. You need to think about where in the form are you, which chord is played, which pattern, which bar is play, which bar is rest. There's a lot of things to do and what you cannot see, but with my live students I really torture them with that. I've always watched that you have a foot which keeps the tempo here, you know, that you have the tempo here as well, that you're really embedded into music. And that's the way you learn to connect with music. You first pick up the beat, then pick up the form, and then do what is possible. But the main focus is first the beat, then the form, then the fretboard. Okay, and then for beginners, keep it as simple as possible, because it's more important that you keep the form than anything else. All right, and then the whole thing starts to work. And then when you're more flexible, you can, you know, you can mix up these patterns or this, and then you already start to sound like a pro. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, I still kept the motifs really simple here, but together with the combination with chords and just mixing up two very simple patterns, but keeping the form, makes you already sound the way it should. And that's what probably is the goal of most of you guys out there. Just that you have things together. And as I already said, first comes the beat, then the form, then what's happening on the fretboard, and then you adapt it to the abilities or your current playing abilities. Yo guys, this teaching method is basically the core of my teaching method in general. What is always first? Connect with music over the beat, follow the beat, listen to the drums or listen to your guitar pals, you know. Then you know the form of the song, in this case a blues, 12 bars, know which chords, keep things as simple as possible, that you still can fulfill the first two tasks without dropouts. And if you have a dropout on the fretboard, the whole thing always still keeps going. You know, when you fail here, you still should be able to know where inside the form you are and where the beat is. That's the main thing, and that's what we call making music. And you can make music from the very beginning when you follow these steps. But what can happen, and it's probably not so pleasant for some guys out there, you have to reduce what you do on the fretboard, because this cuts away your resources in the playing. But on the mid and long term, this is the way you should do it, because then you get into music, and then you can do more complex stuff. And you will always be embedded inside the music, and that's what it's all about. Yo, I wrote down these examples here as tabs. You can download them, print them, plus this practice track here I produced for you guys. It's available in the HPCrazy Guitar Academy. Please join there with a free member account just to join my community. But in order to download the stuff, you need to make a premium member upgrade. And you can also get my monthly newsletter there. That's my only remaining social media thing, which I really feed on a regular basis. Good. That's all me and Dr. Pink are having to say. See you guys. Please share this channel to all your friends. Tell the guys that me and Dr. Pink are existing for the guitar community to bring the qualm of guitar playing to you guys. Bye.